Welcome back to the channel. My name's Aaron. We're here with one of my friends from Reptile Enterprises. She's a pastel Mojave doublehead hypo clown that I have. I figured I'd hold something. Most things ate. She ate a few days ago, so she's good. And it's better to look at than me. And she's a pretty simple combo, but I really like Mojave. She actually, speaking about her, she actually hatched out with a lot of black where the brown is. But after one shed, when she got a lot larger, she kind of browned out and plushed out a little bit more. But we're hoping the babies will be a really cool contrast. She's about, she'll hopefully breed in 2024. That's what we're aiming for. So hopefully she'll be big enough by then. Right now she's hovering about 1,200, 1,300 grams, so we'll be good by then. Anyway, the reason for the video is I want tips for new breeders or those with relatively smaller collections. You can use this information if you have a larger collection as well. Use that to kind of extrapolate the guidelines to fit your numbers in your niche. You can reach out to me and talk to me about it. We can kind of figure that out. So when we're talking about these guidelines, they're guidelines. They're not hard and fast black and white rules. They're just something to help out people while they're building up their collection or just first starting to get into the things and see where they want to go with that. Make sense? So the first tip we have today is keep your money in your racks. What I mean by that is you want your snakes are what are going to make you your money, either for your projects, like you're going to make your animals for your projects going forward, or you're going to make money and sell the babies to sell and buy what you need for your projects. So with that said, if you have a smaller budget, let's say $5,000, $10,000, maybe you don't want to spend half of it on the rack system. Yes, it's a one-time purchase, but you can also start smaller. I've built my own racks up to date. Melamine racks, totally fine. They work forever. I built my own incubator. There's a video for that as well. A small incubator for me because what I needed, about $200. You can probably do about the same. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depending on how handy you are and where you get your supplies. Same as the racks. Now you can upgrade and buy PVC or professional ARS or Freedom Breeder racks or steel racks. No problem using them. You can even buy some of them used if it's within your budget. But I don't want to see people spend all their money on a rack system and not be able to buy into the products they really want. So leading to tip number 2, which I have in 2 parts because I feel like they're kind of related. Number 1, the first part of the tip is be careful of dominant genes. Be mindful of how many you're adding to the collection. What you want to be careful with dominant genes is you can extend your projects further if they aren't fatal or they go together. Super Enchi, Super GHI, Super Red Stripe, those types of genes work really well on both sides of the pairing. When you have something like Calico or Leopard or Pinstripe, you can make more of the same and the very same look. Yes, I do believe Super Leopards are in existence. However, they don't change the look of the animal. So in a smaller collection, yes, you can hit your higher chance of hitting your leopard combo that you were going for. However, you don't get to make a different animal. With Enchi or GHI, you can make a super version of the animal you already have. So it kind of furthers your collection, it kind of furthers your projects, it kind of gives a little bit more without having to get a whole new gene into your collection. You can give yourself a different look. So I hope that makes sense. And again, these are guidelines. If you're really into Calico or Pinstripe, go ahead and buy it, obviously. Just be mindful of how many you're bringing into your collection because you will notice the difference. Which leads me to part number 2. The second part of the tip I have for you is be very mindful of fatal flawed genetics. And what I mean by that is something like the spider gene that cannot be bred to itself because the super form is fatal, it just dies in the egg. Same as the super champagne, that's another example. You want to be mindful of these because you can't have them on both sides of the pairing. You risk losing eggs or babies. Similar as some other animals, they're not as, you gotta be mindful of adding them to your collection. Black pastel and cinnamon tend to have a lot of kinks in the super form, so you probably just want to be mindful of those when buying them. You don't want a lot of black pastel males breeding into all your females, because then when you do holdbacks, you're just gonna make a lot of black or brown snakes that may or may not have kinks or duck billing. So be very mindful of it. Caramel albino is another example. The babies tend to kink. So you want to be mindful of these types of genetics when bringing it into your collection. Again, I'm not saying you can't have black pastel. I'm not saying you can't have cinnamon. I've had them both. I love them myself. Just be mindful of what you're buying into your animals. Females is great because only one clutch it's going to affect should you happen to have it in there, right? So you want to be mindful of breeding black pastel to black pastel. Only about 25% of the babies would most likely be super form, but you don't want to take the risk of those types of deformities. Hope that makes sense there as well. So my third tip for everyone out there is double up on your projects. What I mean by that is, instead of buying a single animal, like if you're really into clown, instead of buying a single het clown female because you want to have het clown, het pied, pastel, and something like that, you want to buy multiples. If you really want to work on mahogany pieds or mahogany clowns, buy 2 females, even buy 3 if you can, if your budget can fix it. Yes, you're not going to have as much diversity in your rack system necessarily. However, it's going to help you hit your projects and move forward with them. Something that I've experienced my own collection early on was I bought 1 bumblebee, I bought 1 pinstripe, I did buy 1 lemon blast, and I never bought another bumblebee because I was like, oh, I'll be fine, I already have it, I'm looking for more, looking for something different. When in reality I should have bought 2 or 3 because I really wanted to make what at the time was super pastel spider pinstripe. We no longer work with spider in our collection for various reasons, but for back then, something that you always worked with or had, and I wanted to get that. I never did hit that animal. I did make the triple, but the odds were pretty low for me to hit the quad, or the super pastel pinstripe spider, in 1 clutch, right? It's pretty tough to hit, and I never hit it. If I had multiple females, I probably would have hit it, and sure, I might not have had that extra cinnamon female I had back then, but at the very least, I'd be on my project. And the thing is, once you hit your project, you can either sell off one of the animals that you use for your project, breed them again. You kind of have options, right? And you move on to another project if need be. So that brings me to the finale of this. Those are my 3 tips. Well, 3.2, I guess, almost 4. I guess 4 tips, the bonus tip in there for the part 2. And I hope you enjoyed it. If you like to see anything else, like, subscribe, or comment down below, and we will happily get to it. Thanks for watching.